Judge, how many minutes does each side get?
15 minutes.
Okay.
And thank you for asking because I'm setting the timer right now.
Will you give us 5-minute warnings, Judge?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Let's see, respondent. All right, there are 15 minutes on the clock. Is everyone ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we are on the record in cause number DF20-14804. Councils, would you please state your name for the record?
Ian Cook for petitioner Juan Carlos Castro.
Okay.
Kenya Ontiveros for Fanny Santos, Your Honor.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Mr. Cook, you are representing the movement in this case. You may proceed.
Yes, Judge. I'll just start with a brief opening. We're here on a motion for enforcement, basically relating to two things. I think the evidence is going to show that the respondent is not living within Dallas County or a contiguous county pursuant to the possession and access order that was originally entered in this case. We've also had at least 3 incidences of, or I think the evidence will show that there were at least 3 incidents where the children were not produced to the petitioner during his times of possession and access. And with that, I will, well, I don't know if respondent wants to make a brief opening.
I will waive opening, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Cook, you may proceed and call your first witness.
I'll call Juan Carlos Castro, Judge.
Okay, let me swear in the parties. If you are intending to testify, please raise your right hand. Okay, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give will be the truth and the whole truth? Okay, if the interpreter.
I swear that I will say the truth, and they both said yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And is it Murillo?
Murillo, that is correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Murillo, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to properly translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English?
I do.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Cook, you may proceed.
Mr. Castro, could you state your name for the court, please?
Juan Carlos Castro Enamorado.
Okay, Mr. Carlos, and where does the mother of your children, the respondent in this case, currently live?
Well, I don't have an exact address, but she's about 50 minutes away from where I live. I believe it's Kaufman or something like that, but it's not in Dallas.
Okay, is it in a county that's contiguous to Dallas?
I believe so, but from the house where I live, it's about 50 minutes away.
Okay. How long does it take you to drop off the kids and pick them up?
Well, from where I live, it takes me about 50 minutes to get to where she lives to go pick them up. And I pick them up on Friday at 6 p.m. And then she drops them off on Sunday at 6 p.m.
Okay. When, if ever, have you had possession of, or were you supposed to have possession of the children and you were not able to get possession of the children?
Well, the first time it was my corresponding time to go pick up the children. I went to go pick up the children, and the mom would not turn them over to me. I came back home really sad because it was my time to see them. And continue. On the second time,
Let's,
on the second time, I also went to go pick up the children, and she also denied me access to the children, telling me that I would never see my children again. When the decree came out, that was signed by the judge and everything that I got with my second attorney, she said that I was playing around, saying that even though it had the signature of the judge, it had the seal and everything, and she said that I was just playing around.
okay, well, let's go back to the first time. When was the first time that you were supposed to have the kids and you didn't get them? What date was that?
Well, it happened one time, two times, three times, maybe four times. I would show up to pick up the children and she would deny me the children. I told her then that's when once I had these papers in hand and everything, I told her that she had to give me the children. She said that I could show up with the police. Each time I went, the police was called. The police made reports every time. And she said that I could show up with the police or the president of the United States and it didn't matter. She wasn't going to change her mind and that she wasn't going to allow me to see the children. Uh, then that's why I got the attorney that I have now, and that's why we're here today.
Okay, do you remember on September 16, 2022, were you supposed to have the children then?
September 16th of 2022. Well, I don't remember.
Okay, was that one of the times when you didn't get the kids?
To be honest, I don't remember, but it was three times or maybe four times that she didn't allow me to get the children.
Okay, were these all what time of the year did these times that you didn't get the kids happen? Like, was it fall, spring, summer, winter?
Yes. It was towards the end of 2022. But I mean, the police was called every time, and I mean, the police already knew me because they were being called so often, but they already knew me.
Okay. When the police were called, what did the police do?
Well, they asked me for my passport and they asked me for those papers that I have. The ones that
Objection,
were signed by
Your
the
Honor,
judge.
hearsay.
Sustained.
Just tell us what the police did. Did they give you the children or what happened?
The first time that the police showed up, she denied me that they didn't give me the children. The second time, I didn't get the children. The third time, I didn't get the children. But the fourth time, with the police there again, I was able to get my children.
Okay, I pass the witness, Judge.
Okay. Cross.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Castro, at the time that you divorced Ms. Santos, did you know that she lived in Maybank County?
No,
Okay.
I didn't know.
Prior to the divorce, were you already exchanging the children and were you already having visitation time with the children?
No,
Objection, Your
No,
Honor, not
when-
responsive.
no.
Sustained after no.
Did you have access and visitation with the children prior to the divorce decree being finalized?
Let me see. Uh, Let me see. Yes, before all the papers were signed and everything. Yes.
And you, in fact, would come and pick up the children from Maybank, is that correct?
Yes, I would. And sometimes she would allow me to see the children, and
Objection,
sometimes she
non-responsive.
wouldn't.
Sustained after yes.
So then it is true that prior to the divorce decree, you knew already that Ms. Santos was not living in Dallas County. You were okay with it and proceeded to come pick up the children from Maybank, correct?
I found out through my son.
But you knew before the divorce decree, correct? Was signed.
Well, yes, because my son told me.
And because you had
Because it hadn't
exercised
come out yet.
possession. Correct?
I didn't understand.
Okay, we'll move on. Now, Mr. Castro, it's fair to say that you haven't always followed the court order yourself, correct?
Objection, relevance, Judge. We're here about enforcement for not letting the petitioner see his children. There's been no counter pleading and no hearing set on that.
Well, actually, that part is relevant because part of the enforcement is not only to show that the respondent violated, he also has to prove he was in compliance of the order. So I'll overrule that objection.
Mr. Castro, it's fair to say that you haven't always followed the order, correct?
Which orders?
The divorce decree orders.
No, the divorce already came out.
Where did you live? Where was your residence at the time that the divorce decree was signed?
Here in Seagoville in Dallas.
Okay. Have you ever lived at 1304 Country Lane, 65, Dallas, Texas?
That's where I used to live. Okay, correct.
And that's what's stated in the divorce decree, correct?
Yes, correct.
And
That was my address.
since then, you have moved to a different location, is that correct?
Yes, we moved. We moved to from where I used to live to where I live now, about 5 minutes, and she knows where I live.
But you in fact did not notify Ms. Santos, and you did not notify the court of your change of residence like you were supposed to, correct?
Judge, I'm gonna object to relevance again.
That particular question is not relevant. Sustained.
Now, there are other aspects of the divorce decree and the custody agreement that you're not in compliance with, correct? Now, is the reason why you brought forth the enforcement action because you don't think that it's fair that you have to bear the cost and the expense of having to travel to pick up the children?
No, I didn't understand the question.
Okay. I'm so sorry, Your Honor. I'm going to wait for the train to pass by.
No problem. And I forgot to give the 5-minute warning to you, Mr. Cook. You actually have 3 minutes and 57 seconds left. And Ms. Ontiveros, you have 8 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay. Now, Mr. Castro, the dates in question that you allegedly say that Ms. Santos denied you access to the children, you in fact were in violation of the court order on those specific dates, is that correct?
Well, I'm not really clear about the dates exactly, but the attorney that I hired does have those dates because he has the reports from the police that I made.
Objection non-responsive.
Sustained.
Mr. Castro, you showed up at Ms. Santos' house on September 16th. What time did you show up?
On September 26th of 2022?
September 16th of 2022.
To be honest, I don't remember.
But it wasn't 6 p.m., correct? It was way past 6 p.m.
Yes, that time because I
Objection non-responsive.
Sustained after yes.
Okay. Now, in fact, you showed up on September 16th at around 10:30 p.m. Is that correct? Do you remember that?
No, not that late, no.
But you don't remember how late at all?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustain.
Do you remember if it was dark outside?
Yes, it was starting to get dark, but I mean, there's light there.
Now, on September 30th, you also showed up to pick up the kids, but it also was not at 6 p.m. Is that correct?
That is correct. I mean, because my
Objection,
work was about.
non-responsive.
Sustain after that is correct.
And in fact, you showed up around 9:30 p.m. on September 30th. Isn't that correct?
Señor. ¿Sí me escucha? ¿Sí me escucha, señor? Señor.
I don't think he's connected.
I think I lost him. Hold on one second.
Okay.
¿Ya lo tengo ahí, señor? ¿Ya los tengo ahí a los dos? Ok. Le preguntan que si de hecho usted se presentó. No.
But you don't remember what time, but you know it was after 6. Isn't that correct?
Yes, after 6 p.m. I do remember. Yes.
And you also admitted to the fact that you called the police to the scene. Isn't that correct?
Of course, yes. I called the police several times.
So then the police reports are going to have a timestamp of when you placed the call. Isn't that correct?
Well, yes, I imagine that they have cameras and everything to record that, and they will have the time.
So then you know that it was way past 6 p.m., correct? In fact, it was already dark outside.
Well, let's say yes.
Okay.
It was after 6 p.m.
And it was the same thing on October 14th, the other day that you allege in your enforcement action. You again showed up to pick up the children, and again, it was way past 6 p.m. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it's fair to say, Mr. Castro, that you have not been in compliance with the order yourself, correct?
The first attorney that gave me
Objection,
the
non-responsive.
degree.
Sustain.
Mr. Castro, you in fact have not been following the court order yourself, correct?
But why am I not following the order?
Because you have not, have you been picking up the children at 6 p.m. every time that you're supposed to?
Okay, now recently, yes. I
Objection,
have been there to
non-responsive,
pick
Your
up-
Honor.
No.
Sustain after yes.
No further questions at this moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
Judge, I would like to call Fanny Leticia Santos Guzman.
Okay, and time check again, Mr. Cook, 3 minutes, 57 seconds. Attorney Ontiveros, 1 minute and 34 seconds. And you may proceed, Mr. Cook.
Ms. Guzman, what's your resident address?
Es Gamberra, es en Maybach.
Is it 115 Brett Drive, Gun Barrel City, Texas?
Sí,
And that's Henderson County, correct?
Counselor, can you repeat that?
Is that Henderson? That's Henderson County, correct?
¿cómo? No, de Maybach.
No, it's in Maybach.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Ms. Santos, on September 16th, September 30th, and October 14th of 2022, did Mr. Castro show up to pick up the children at 6 p.m.?
¿Me puede repetir la pregunta, por favor?
Can you repeat the question, please?
On September 16th, September 30th, and October 14th of 2022, did Mr. Castro show up to pick up the kids at 6 p.m.?
Se presentó después de las 6 de la tarde.
He showed up after 6 p.m.
And in fact, on one of those dates, he showed up at nearly 10:30 on September 16th. Is that correct?
Es correcto.
That is correct.
On September 30th, he showed up at 9:30 approximately, correct?
Es correcto.
And
That
when
is correct.
when he arrived, he called the police, correct?
Sí,
Did you
Yes.
ever tell him he couldn't take the children?
en ningún momento le dije que no se podía llevar a los niños. Ni siquiera sabía que él estaba afuera. Pues nunca tiene comunicación conmigo directamente, siempre la tiene con mi hijo. Cuando ya
At no time did I tell him that he could not take the children because I don't have any kind of communication with him. He only communicates through my son.
So he didn't tell you he was going to be late?
Desde que hemos empezado el proceso, nunca me avisa cuándo va a ir por ellos, nunca me avisa nada, siempre se comunica con el niño.
Ever since we started the process, he never tells me anything. He always communicates through the child.
Did you do anything to physically restrain him from physically keep him from taking the children?
Repítame la pregunta porque no la entendí.
Repeat the question, please, because I didn't understand.
Did you do anything to physically prevent Mr. Castro from taking the children?
Objection leading.
Sustain.
Did you stop Mr. Castro from taking the children?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
No,
No,
Did the children end up leaving with Mr. Castro?
no.
no.
Why was that?
Porque la verdad, el papá de los niños, el señor Juan Carlos Castro, nunca dejó que hablara con él. Bueno, conmigo nunca habló. Se quedó hablando solo con los niños y los niños dijeron que ellos no se iban, pues ya iban a dormir. Entonces, pues el policía dijo que no podía obligarlos a irse si ellos no se querían ir. Entonces, por eso no se fueron. En ningún momento él puede decir que yo me niego a los niños, porque él y yo nunca hablamos. Él nunca deja que yo me acerque donde él está. Él se va. Inclusive ese día, él me dijo que no.
Permítame. Well, the father of my children, Mr. Juan Carlos Castro, never talks to me. So the day that the police were there, they spoke to the children, and the children told the police that they were about to go to sleep. So they told him that he couldn't take them at that time if they didn't want to go. He never once talked to me at all.
And in fact, you go pick up the children after Mr. Castro's visitation time all the way to Dallas. Is that correct?
Es correcto.
And
That is correct.
prior to the divorce decree, Mr. Castro already knew that you lived in Maybank County and did not express any concern regarding the drop off and pickup arrangement, correct?
Attorney Ontiveros, that was your time.
No problem, Your Honor.
¿Puedo contestar?
May I answer?
The question, you can't answer the last question. The
Sí,
question
sí, puedo
was,
responder a la última.
prior to the divorce decree, you already knew that she lived in Maybank County and you did not express any concerns about the drop off and pickup arrangement. Is that correct?
Es correcto.
That is correct.
Okay. Attorney Cook?
Judge, I just have a quick summary.
Okay.
She's admitted that she lives at 115 Brett Drive, Gun Barrel City, Texas. She keeps on mentioning Maybank County. There is no Maybank County. I think if you look on Google, that Gun Barrel City and that location is actually located in Henderson County, which is not contiguous with one of the counties, is not a county contiguous with Dallas County. So she is in violation of the order regarding living within, Dallas County or county contiguous with Dallas County. The fact that my client is sometimes late, well, can be understood just simply by the fact that she lives outside of where she's supposed to live, and it makes it difficult for him to get there and pick up the children sometimes. Also, the fact that the children do or do not want to go with my client is not really an issue. The mother can't simply say that the children don't want to go with the father as justification for not giving up the children to the father when it's his possession time.
Okay.
If I may, a brief summary, Your Honor.
You're out of time.
No problem. Thank you.
You're out of time. So what the court is going to do is take this under advisement, and I will have your ruling out sometime today, if not tomorrow.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are we excused?
Translating, Mr. Murillo.
Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yes, you all are excused. Have a great day.
Sí, sí,
Thank
eso
you.
con- gracias.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine.
Good, good. I just wanted to make sure that I was reading this right, so I didn't confuse myself.
Okay.
So you're trying to do a nunc-pro-tunc, is that correct?
Yes, a name change.
Yes, ma'am. So currently your name is Diane Ann Duckett,
Correct.
and you want it changed to Diane Duckett.
Yes, with a D-I-A-N-E. See, on that paper, it got two N's.
Okay, all right. I want to make sure that, and that's why I wanted you to come on to make sure that I wasn't losing it.
Yes, and I've been dealing with this for a year. That's the problem I'm having. I'm trying to retire.
I got you covered. I got you covered. So your name change is granted. So it's D-I-A-N-E, no middle name,
No,
and last name D-U-C-K-E-T-T.
correct.
Yes, ma'am. I just signed the order and I'm sending it to my clerk and my coordinator, and they'll email you a copy.
Okay, thank you so much.
Very welcome and happy retirement.
Now, I need to pick that up. So I need to come down and pick it up. How soon can I do that?
You can do it today. So what I would do if I were you, as soon as they email it to you, then go ahead and come down here. That way you can get a copy and get it certified and get as many certified copies as you need. Because I know when you retire, you have to send different things off.
Yes, that's what I need it for. Okay.
Well, happy retirement and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.